Dum da dum dum.
Sean here. Valken M17 Alien Play 7.3 grams. This is not a power test video. A fellow Canadian, Scavenger Nick, over on his YouTube channel was experimenting with mufflers for his air rifles and air pistols. So it got me thinking, you guys have shared a lot of ideas with me on how I can try and make it quieter. And everybody's got their own opinion, and I haven't tried them all, but this one was an easy one for me to try. But first, I've been doing this since about 2018. Valken wasn't my first love, but my M17 became my go-to launcher. And well, Valken has filed for bankruptcy protection, and Milsig Direct Europe has reappeared as the OG Milsig distributor. So I'm excited to say I have an M17 Generation 3 less lethal version on its way to me right now. Less lethal version is, essentially it's the same launcher, but it has a new magazine, no more square heads. It has a AR type adapter on the front where your top rails actually match. So they've designed it so it's kind of got like an oblong hole in it. That'll be pretty cool. The less lethal version is heavier bolt spring and regulatorless, which is much like this HD24 version I have on here. So there's going to be no caps, no PRV, no what have you. Of course, you'll see it when it arrives, but how I'm going to do this test, I'm just going to shoot some rounds through using the Decibel app that I have, and then you can just watch them, and then I'll kind of crunch the numbers at the end. The plan is I'll get just some factory readings as is. Currently in this right now, I have a 5 7/8 inch barrel, Lapco barrel 684. So I don't even need to have that on there to do this initial test. Then what I want to do is shoot through a hollow tube. So this is just a MCS, like a SOCOM, or I don't know which one this is, a MSK2 or some weird thing, but it's not perforated on the outside. It's just a solid tube. I want to shoot through this, get some decibel readings, but then I had this curious idea to try this other barrel inside here, and the object is this barrel is going to fall short. Depositing that round, it's going to be exiting the barrel just prior to leaving this tube, just to see if there's any difference. I mean, I've tried, the HD24 as a silencer. Best I've seen, playing around without making any permanent modifications, Mr. Carpenter, is 10 decibels. 10 decibels is nothing. It takes the crack out, but it's still loud as F. So let's just make sure this M17 is firing first. Few have reported to me using this new slide check regulator that their M17s are malfunctioning, so they're going into an auto fire state. Well, this will be the first time I put this reg together, I screwed it in, and I haven't shot this since then. So I don't know how mine's going to behave. I do have Hone Fence 24 bolt spring in here. I'm also running my own O-ring. So I can't remember the size off the top of my head, but I can drop it in the description if you want to try it. So I don't know if those will play a part. I don't know how these others folks as M17s are set up, or how they're maintained, or how they're stored, or there's a lot of little things sometimes when somebody comes to you with a problem. It's really hard to decipher because they might be leaving out a key piece of the information. Enough's enough. Will it auto fire? The other thing I noted with these slide check regs is the longer they sit like this, they are a little bit difficult to air up. So sometimes you gotta actually get two hands on it. In this case, it wasn't that bad, surprisingly, but my little bottle that's on my X68, I don't even know where that is. Oh, this one here. This one can be really tight if I let it sit for too long. You know, I said it's not for power, but let's just see how far or how fast these 7.3 gram alien plays are traveling. Oh. 378. And it didn't stutter, it didn't fart, it didn't do anything, so I don't know, guys. Let's get the decibel readings. Okay, to shoot through the hollow tube, I'm going to use this bore sizer from MCS, just so I got like a little bit of a barrel there. I'm worried about a strike on the end of this, so I need a little bit of direction. There we go. So the ball is going to be exiting right about here and shooting through that much hollow tube. Now we're going to put on this 5-inch barrel. We should see some more velocity as well, so it's always good to have actual barrel to be shooting through. So when I thread this on, that's where the ball is going to be leaving. And I'm hoping that the air is going to actually hit the end of this and kind of go back in on itself. Well, that was about as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So, factory launcher is loud as F, 117.7 decibels. I am in a closed garage, so obviously that's probably artificially inflated a little bit. And I'm using a free app that maybe is not as accurate, but it should still give baseline differences is what I'm looking for. The little stumpy adapter I put in here and shot through the hollow tube, 114.9 decibels. That's 2.8, yes, 2.8 decibels lower with the little stumpy in there. And with the longer barrel, it was a full 3 decibels quieter. Nothing to get excited about at all whatsoever. Anyway, know how. So I'll keep at it. You got to remember, these things are outputting. They're discharging a ton of air. Unlike, you know, a PCP air rifle or, you know, a 177 caliber pellet rifle. They may be putting out high velocities using high pressure, but that instance that valve is open is so short that dealing with that amount of air is much more manageable than what's coming out of one of these things. So 10 more alien plays in there, finish her off. And of course, like, subscribe, share. You'll see when the new Gen 3 comes, and also my carry, my Grimberg carry is in the mail right now.